In today's video, I'm taking my pigs and I'm going to set them free and release them into the forest. This could go smoothly or this could go horribly.
No, where'd my pigs go? They're gone.
But wish me luck, you guys, because I'm setting those guys free. So it's been about 2 weeks since the pigs arrived here on our farm. Wish me luck there, Abby dog. And so far, things have gone very, very well. The pigs have settled in, they've gotten used to me, they've gotten trained to their electric fence. And so now it's time to release them from their training area and take them into this new area that I just set up. We've got trees, we've got old scrub brush and shrubs, and around the perimeter of an area here, I've set electric fencing, very similar to the fencing that I've already trained them to. Ooh, guys. But now that they know to respect the fence, I feel pretty good about releasing them into this area because I've created this boundary that cuts through our forest here. It's basically on the edge of the forest and the pasture. You can see actually all of our birds live over there. And there's just lots of space for them to roam, explore, till the ground. Yeah, you can even see we've got like old rock walls that are through here. Like I also want them clearing out the scrub like this stuff. Ultimately, I actually want to turn this into a nice part of the farm that gets used more. But it's been so overgrown over the years that I need some help clearing it. And the pigs are essentially the laborers that I've hired to help me clear all of this. They'll spend a couple weeks in this area before moving on further into the forest. Again, just for a frame of reference of where on the farm they are, you can see this is the stream that we've created. That's where our pond is. Basically, I use the cutoff point as the stream because I don't want them getting in there. Next time I move them, I'll run them through here and onto the other side of that tree. You can see Abby dog off there in the distance. Hey, Abby dog, how's it going, sweetie? But now before I take on this ridiculous undertaking, let's just check our fence to make sure it's still hot. Yeah, 10,000 volts, that's what I'm looking for. Again, it runs all the way through here. And just to totally admit to you guys, I'm very nervous about all of this. This could go wrong, and if it does, my pigs are off in the forest and I'm having to hunt them down. Not a concept that I relish the opportunity for, but I have done a few things to increase my odds of success. Number one, I actually just built a new feeder for them. And at this point in the morning, they should have been fed by now, and so they're probably a little bit hungry. My hope is that their hunger is what motivates them. They also have this updated waterer I just put together, and so hopefully this one doesn't leak. Now the trickiest part is gonna be, once I release them from there, they're gonna wanna get out, but then I'm gonna have to close off this part of the fence so that it just really connects from here to here. And I've gotta connect this line from here over to that fence post over there, and I have to do it without turning off the power or zapping myself, because if I turn off the power, the pigs could escape. Again, there's no physical barrier like I have here. It's entirely electric wire. But enough yakking from me. Let's just get into this and do it. Okay, girls, guess what? It's moving day today. I think they can really tell that something's about to happen here. I know, sweetie. Time to move. Hey, back off, back off. I know, you've never quite known freedom like this before. Do this wire. I don't want you to think that this isn't electrified. All right, away you go. Go free. Go free. There we go. Look, your sister's gone. There we go. Good job, girls. I know, freedom. Isn't this exciting? Now come walk with me. Come on. Come on, girls. It's funny, I thought they would be so focused on the freedom that they're actually just like confused by what's going on, and they came back into their yard. Well, there you go. Let's go. Let's go. Watch out for that fence. Let's see if I can encourage them with some food. Come on, sweetie, let's go. Out you go. Come on. I wouldn't have thought I was gonna have this much trouble getting them out of here. If you look at that, they're eating grass for the first time. All right, let me close this off now. Don't go back in there. No, no, no. Hey, don't fight and chew on that. Come on. All right, that's step one of getting them out. You guys are adorable. Come on, little piggies. You know, it's funny to me. This is the first time they've ever experienced this much open space, and they're so confused by it. They don't quite know what to do with it. But yeah, this is their new life now. After the training period, they don't have to be so confined. It's just in their best interest and my best interest to confine them during that training period. Yeah, that's a camera. Look, I got food for you. I know you're hungry. Oh, look at them. They're so curious and adorable. So much energy right now. So now that they're distracted with what's going on over here, I need to turn my attention to closing off the fence area because I want to box them in now. So now this is the one moment where I have to turn off the electricity just temporarily. I need to take these reels. I already had set up and pre-unrolled. This is the thing I needed. No, where'd my pigs go? They're gone.
Oh, there they are. Whew, got scared there for a second. All right, let's turn the fence back on.
They're starting to run around. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, they're now secure. Whew, right there at the end, I zapped myself really good. Oh, so what do you guys think of your new home? Plenty of space to roam and explore and be free. I know, it's exciting. Yeah? You want me to give you the tour? So yes, this is your new feeder. I actually took the leaky water barrel I had, cut out a chunk of it, and now there's plenty of space for all sorts of food and slop, and you guys probably won't tip it over and make as much of a mess and waste as much food. You guys also have the habit of attacking GoPros, I've noticed. So then, yes, these are the birds. These are your next door neighbors. They're a little bit noisy, but they're very friendly. You know, it's funny, I feel like I have a game of Angry Birds set up here. You have the birds on one side and the pigs on the other. I feel like farm life has now become a version of a multi-billion-dollar mobile gaming franchise. Yes, and this right here is your new waterer. It's actually empty right now. I need to fill it up. I have it over on this side because it's really close to one of my hydrants, and so I can just hook this hose right up to it and be ready to go. And this is the outer boundary as far west as you can go. You can't go any further than that, so just know that. I don't want you guys wandering off. I can tell you're a little bit curious there, aren't you? How's it going, Phil? So I know another thing folks have wondered is what their names are gonna be, and I've actually finally landed on it. So right here, this one, her name is Phil Leotardo. This one right here, the smaller one, is Artie Bucco. And then we have Little Polly Germani right here. Yes, they're all Sopranos names. Looks like Phil Leotardo's taking a deuce. Is this gonna be the new spot that you guys leave all your waste? I mean, if that's the case, go for it. Yeah, you know, one of those things people told me about raising pigs is that they often leave their waste in one spot. But my experience has actually been that they poop everywhere, but now that they have a larger space, maybe that'll prove to be true. So lots of space to roam and explore. I think you gals are gonna like this a lot. Might take a little getting used to. Now another question I know I'm gonna get in the comments is, why didn't I put like a hard perimeter fence, or why don't I have them inside our hard perimeter fence? And there's actually two reasons. Number one, to keep a pig inside a hard perimeter fence is very, very difficult and very, very challenging. And I would have to basically build a fence that's Fort Knox. And because my plan is to keep moving them, it's just not practical to have a perimeter fence. Number two, once they're trained to it, electric fencing is way more effective for containing pigs. And so much like I move my cattle on a very regular basis, these gals are going to be moving on a regular basis. They'll be in this area for a couple of weeks. I'm not really committing to a time period right now because I'm still trying to figure out like the ratio of pig to land, like, you know, particularly as they're small, like how much space do they need and how long can they stay in one spot. So I'll just be watching and monitoring, and when it feels like it's time to move, they will move. Did you guys look at how they're chomping away at those? I think those are blackberry canes. Yeah, definitely clear that stuff out. I know there's this old wood pile that I'm sure there's all sorts of bugs and grubs inside of that you guys are welcome to tackle. Probably start a bonfire once they're through here. Yeah, this is gonna be a great spot for you gals. I'm gonna give them the opportunity to do more exploring, but I will go do some animal chores and then check back in with you guys in a little bit. Morning, guys. I know, it's been a lot of chaos this morning. I know. So because of the pig move and how I wanted to time the pig move this morning, I'm like totally out of sorts on the rest of my chores. I know, Abby, we're behind schedule this morning and we both hate that, don't we? Sorry, weird chickens, there's no time for zen this morning, just some feed and get on with it. By the way, we're gonna probably have some comings and goings with the weird chickens very soon. Number one, they're gonna have to vacate their winter coop because it's gonna turn into the brooder for some new goslings who should be hatching soon. Number two, my rooster boys who are there are probably gonna have to go away. And then number three, the reason they're leaving is because they have to make room for a fresh rooster as well as maybe a new hen or two. But I'll explain all of that one in a future video, so you should probably hit that subscribe button to find out what happens. I know, Abby, we're late in visiting your birds this morning. Let's go. Morning, birds! How's everybody doing this morning, huh? Yeah, I would say that the birds are gonna only spend a couple more weeks here in the hoop coop before they all move out and I send them out to pasture. Still sitting on that nest, huh, gal? Yes, I'm letting her run her course on that nest, just to kind of see what she does naturally. So we'll see what happens. Probably by the time she gives up on that nest or something hatches, I will actually ultimately move everybody out. As you can actually see here, I just fixed the door and I'm opening it wider now because the days are much warmer and I need to ventilate it more. Pretty soon I'll also start opening up the sides as well. The birds have had access to this entire area out here, but I know I'm gonna need to move them pretty soon because, good golly, this is starting to get picked over. Like, for example, this is the grass that the birds have had access to, and you can see it's mowed pretty short. But then as you look over here, you can see that that grass is long and lush and ready for eating. Like, here's your aerial side-by-side comparison. It's pretty dramatic, actually. And so I'm gonna send them further into the permaculture orchard very soon, but I do need to build some new infrastructure to help me do that. So we got some duck eggs up in here. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can see that in there, but there are several eggs buried in this nest. Oh my golly. Oh my Lord.
Oh my God.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eggs buried in there. I don't know, Abby, what do you think? Now, usually I've been reclaiming the eggs before the ducks get them, but I'm wondering if one of the ducks wants to turn this into an actual nest for herself. And if that's the case, maybe I will just give her access to it. And so I'll put those eggs back in there. It's actually not a bad spot to raise little ducklings. So yeah, Abby, let's put them back in. Yeah, maybe these are gonna be future ducklings, Abby. So I will give these to the pigs. And then there's the worst eggs that get laid. They're these stream eggs. Ugh. Ugh. These are definitely going to the pigs. Okay, maybe these will go to the dogs too as part of your breakfast. Yeah, they get a little jealous. Oh, looks like they're learning that fence wire. Are you settling in there, girls? Of course, they also just knocked over their water barrel. I haven't filled it up yet. Once it has about 10 gallons of water in it, they can't knock it over. And the reason I placed the nozzle where it is so that it keeps that much water in there at all times. But it was empty, and so I gotta go in there and deal with that in a minute. Let's go, Abby. We got some hungry birds. Oh, you guys already like ate a third of your bird food. Jeremy, leave Abby alone. Good girl, Abby. Just stay away from Jeremy. So we only have 8 duck eggs this morning, but of course I know where a lot of those duck eggs are ending up right now. We got 2 chicken eggs so far because we're collecting later than usual, and we only have 1 goose egg. This 1 goose egg in here will go into the incubator later today, and because my goose egg laying is starting to really slow down, this might be the last crop of goslings I set to seed right now for the year. And very soon I'll start turning my attention to hatching chickens. I know that might sound crazy because I haven't even had my first batch hatch, but if you guys recall, I've set it up so that I will have goslings hatching every single week for the next several weeks, and so I just need to think about how I put these guys in there. And so I'm just very much focused on keeping a fresh rotation of my eggs in the incubators. So I'm still doing my daily walks with Macho Man, and in some ways it continues to get easier and easier, but lately I'm finding it's getting harder and harder as well because there's a distraction. You see, he's really into eating that fresh grass. I should probably be holding on to him. But it's actually not too bad because it becomes like another reward system. So much like I use the brush as a way for him to get comfortable with wearing the halter and being led around and realizing that this is always a very good, positive experience. Having access to fresh grass isn't a bad thing either. You are starting to shed, buddy. The cattle will be moving out soon. I would say they're probably about still another week or 2 away. We've had so much rain lately. Pasture's so soft. I'm concerned about the cattle doing too much damage. The way it's gonna work is the heifers are gonna go inside the permaculture orchard, so inside that fence right here. All the mature cows are gonna go up to the top of the hill, and come Father's Day-ish, Randy's gonna be set loose with the girls and he will start to breed with everybody. He and Joey are gonna still stick around the barn for the next few weeks. I'm not rushing to get them out of here because, again, I continue to work with Randy, and it becomes much, much easier to get him access to just a little bit of grass versus the whole crew of all the girls. Hey, don't bite my foot. So yes, the pigs have thoroughly trashed their old area. Again, we're gonna turn this into garden beds as we vacate them. We'll probably give it a couple weeks to compost over and maybe throw some fresh straw down. But as we're nearing our last frost date, this is pretty much ready to go for usage, which is kind of cool. And if I'm making the list of pros and cons when it comes to pigs, what they do for the land if you're like managing them and being thoughtful about where you put them is pretty incredible. Now I know some of you guys have been a bit critical of me for keeping them in this smaller area. You know, really saying that you wish I gave the pigs more space during their training period. But quite honestly, based on all the advice I was given, if you give them too much space, it creates more problems. I think the one mistake I made on day one was I surrounded the entire pen with electric wire versus just doing one side. But other than that, I think this was actually exactly the right size training pen for 3 little pigs, and I'd pretty much do the exact same thing if I had to do it over again. There we go. Now they've got their pig loo all nice and strawed up and ready to be used. We'll still probably use this pig loo for another month or 2, and eventually I'll make a different type of shelter for them as they get bigger. But because it's cold and because I want them to be able to be protected a little bit more from the elements, and given the size that they currently are, this pig loo is the perfect size. You know, much like a dog, you actually don't want a house that's too big because they want to feel like they're in a cave or like a burrow of some sort. But speaking of the pigs, let's see if we can find where they're at. Oh, piggy, piggy, piggies, I got a surprise for you. Where you at, girls? Piggy, piggy, piggies. Looks like your water trough is full. Let me turn this off. Yes, I've now fixed this so it doesn't leak, which is good. Here, would you gals like some eggs? Those are your favorite, I know. How are you girls doing? You settling in here? You seem pretty happy. Seems like there's so much to explore. Yes, you have the angry birds on the other side of the fence, but don't let them bother you. Black Francis is giving them the stink eye. Let me just double check my fence here, because I always get worried. Well, that's looking good. Do you like the new feeder? I'm leaving you with the old feeder for today, but once that thing empties out, you're only gonna be eating out of this guy. I know, right? It's exciting stuff. And yes, your pig loo is back and in full force, just like you like it. I just added some fresh straw to it, so you got that going for you as well. Oh, you're playing with that cedar branch? Okay.